These are fun little things. This is a 1 ounce solid copper coin, and that's the internationally recognizable sign for a medicine. And then we have a couple of additional chemical elements. One is cannabidiol, and one is delta 9 trans tetrahydrocannabinol, THC. And the ring is a kind of, even though this side is the medical, this is the cultural. Which I think is kind of cool. I know. What can you say? The idea of this, I think, is to chuck a tiny-ish hole in the middle, although actually a bigger hole. Oh, now then, let's have a think about this, because I wonder if we can actually punch the entire hole out. Let's get it annealed and then look at where we're going to punch it. Now this is the largest punch that I have. I'm thinking, if I do, I can almost take the entire cannabis leaf out of the middle. Ooh, it's going to clip the top, unfortunately. But then I think it would actually leave a very nice, just here, these would then form the side of the ring. Right, I'm going to try it with that large punch. The other options are using the smaller punches, which would leave an awful lot more, but I'm not convinced it would be as pretty. So, moment of truth. Am I feeling particularly brave to punch such a large hole in a coin? Oh, ho, ho. Too late to change your mind now. Oh, you can see what it was. Okay. Okay, yeah. That might make a nice little nothing. I don't know what that would make. Right, let's get the coin out. Now, you see, I think I might be getting quite good at this. There, here, here, and here. Those now are about perfect. I think that has come out delightfully, deliciously well. Next, I need to deburr the hole itself. It's pretty good, but what we need to do is make sure these edges are perfectly smooth. Otherwise, when I start to fold, I run the risk of losing the entire coin, which would be a little bit disappointing. Yeah, that's good enough. Good, good, good. These are some of the shavings that I have just taken off of the hole. And again, really all that is to smooth this so that there's no chance of a crack, because once a crack starts, that entire coin is a write-off. So, right, now this coin would work well as a ring either way, either with the chemical formula and the medical sign on the outside, but for this one on the outside I want the weed blunt grass pot. So we start the fold, we stick it in one of these dies. Oh, do you know what? This is a full size American dollar size. Ooh. And for that we need to start it with this little stainless cone. And try and get that in there as level as possible, otherwise we'll have a wonky owl. That's good. And then place it under there. And all this does is start the fold, nothing more. So that now is the start of the transformation between being a coin and being a ring. The key to keeping it that easy to manipulate is by the constant chucking it on the blowtorch, and that then keeps it annealed. Annealing is a process of softening metal, but as you then work it, as I take it through the different folding processes, it becomes what's known as work hardened. And work hardening then introduces the risk of a simple tiny little scratch developing into a split and the whole coin's lost. So annealing and keeping this inside hole polished and deburred is the key. Right, I suppose now I should really get on with the process of making the ring and come back when it's nearly done. Several annealings later, and we have made, or I have made, well no, we have made, because you're watching this, you're just as much a part of this as I. We have the beginnings of a ring shape. This is the intermediate, halfway through bit, where squishing it into those coins forces the hole bigger and starts pulling this in. Next is the bit where, if you've watched these coin making videos before, next is where I wrap it in lots and lots of PTFE tape. Here's my little admission. This entire workshop is pretty much carbon zero. There's no waste. I think I've had 2 bin bags in 3 years of waste from the workshop. Everything else gets reused or repurposed or recycled. This is the only thing I haven't found a use for. Anyway, that now gets wrapped around there and then forced through here, and what that then does is, this is a reducing cone again, but all it does is pull the reed edge in to straighten it, because we want this one to be, I was going to make this into a sort of what's called a fat tire. You'll know what that means, I guess, but I'm going to try and get this to be a fairly straight edge. So wrap it in there, squish it through there, Back soon. This is the bit where we push that entire wrapped. This process is called a Swedish wrap. I'll make sure I've got that reasonably straight. And we push that all the way down. This is where I hope I've annealed it enough. And there she is. One final. Whew. Didn't feel like that were gonna go, I tell you. Right. So. And the reason for wrapping it around like that is so that we don't damage the detail on the coin. And like a one-hand wonder again, there we have almost pretty much finished it. All I need to do now is just open the non-reed side up a little bit on the hole stretcher and then push that reeded edge in a little bit, all of which will have to be done while not filming because I've only got 2 hands, and then we'll see how that looks. But we have progressed to progress. Well, I think that works. Good. But what's it going to look like when polished? Moment of truth. Let's see. Time. Hour and a half. Hour and 45 minutes. That's not bad going. Had a coffee in that time, so probably about an hour and a half. I've left a little bit of kind of like antique patina feel to it. It doesn't really stand out very much with the high polish. And really, this is one of those rings where I think the wearer will want people to recognise the detail. And I'm glad that I put that massive 1/2-inch hole in there. I think it's worked nicely. And the detail is really quite exquisite. Yes, I'm happy with that as far as wings go. And obviously when you take something so big and squish it down, all of these get sort of squished in, but these haven't turned out too bad. And detail on the inside, we've still got the chemical formulae. Yes, I'm okay with that. I think that is a very, very nice ring. Though I do say so myself, innit? Right, that's it, boys and girls. I'll put a link underneath this if anyone wants to buy this. Otherwise, the making of is just as interesting. Cheers.